I don't review enough classic movies on this channel, but the reason for that is, frankly, they don't get enough views. But I decided, what the hey, I'm gonna review this movie. I This movie came out in the '60s. The book was also written in the '60s. This is an older film. Uh, you know, I've read the book and stuff, and it's a fantastic novel. This is How to Kill a Mockingbird. But if you want to know the reason why I don't cover classic movies too much, it's frankly because it doesn't get enough views. And the fact is, people really want to know about new stuff. They want to know about the new stuff coming out. And that's cool, but past is just as important as the future. And there's some really great classic movies, and most classic movies are a lot better than older movies, or not older movies, newer movies coming out today, because you know it's and I mean that's not entirely true. Of course, nowadays we have lots of great things about movies, technological advancements, newer actors and performers who maybe are more crafted and qualified than people were at the time. Better representation of different groups and stuff. But in terms of being original, being artistic, and things like that, that's not really a thing that we see, or movies having patience. This movie, yes, is a film in black and white. Um, some people say with color movies that they should be colorized, or black and white movies they should be colorized. I've never understood that nonsense, because I think the audience that would watch a black and white movie is not the same that would watch. No, not a black and white movie. The audience who would watch an older film like this is not someone who would care what color it's in. And if you're not gonna watch it the way it was made, then screw you. You just don't deserve to watch the movie. It's that simple. This is the way it's being made. This is the way it's being presented. And if you're not gonna check it out like that, then screw you. It's this is the film. This film is about, of course, I'm sure a lot of people know, but this film's about Atticus Finch, who is a single father taking care of his children, and he is charged with a court case of a black man who is accused of rape, and so he goes to court, and that's kind of the movie. And there's a lot of symbolism and different ideas presented throughout the story. It's a lot about growing up and things like that. And this is a movie that doesn't really hold back, because this movie doesn't have an happy ending. I mean, it kind of does, but it doesn't. It has kind of a bittersweet ending. But that's kind of, this is based on kind of an idea of real life. I mean, it's not real necessarily. This isn't based on a true story. Maybe inspired by one, but not based on one. But what makes this movie so great is Atticus Finch as a character. He is one of the greatest characters in any film ever, because he is kind of what we all want our dad to be. He is stern without losing his temper. He is quiet, methodical. He's really good with the gun. He's very intelligent, and he can always explain things very well and make all the injustices in the world seem okay. And Gregory Peck plays this performance insanely well. He has made this character iconic and become one of the greatest characters in all of film history. This film is very fantastic. The cinematography in this movie is beautiful. I think one thing I will say about older films that I just notice every time I watch them is that how much silence there is. Like nowadays, there's always like an explosion, someone's talking, someone's yelling, someone's doing this. There isn't a lot of, all right, quiet down, let the characters just sit for a minute, think about what they just said, or let there be space in between their lines to show the emotion or whatever. There isn't a lot of that. It's always like get to the next thing, get to the next thing, get to the next thing. I think that's because people have so little patience now. Um, and back then, this is just how movies were, and that's kind of, well, and I think that's kind of sad because this is I think the silence in between everything makes you feel the emotions and just sit in awe and really contemplate what you're watching, because a lot of this film is bittersweet. It isn't necessarily happy, um, and you're watching it and you're going, that really hurt, and then you're thinking, man, well, I hope this turns out well, and then it doesn't, and then this thing happens, and you're kind of just watching things and observing characters and observing the situation of things. It's a great film, and I think if you've never seen this film or read this book, you should. It's phenomenal. Both are phenomenal. Both are equally great. Both incredible pieces of literature and film history.